Hi everyone and welcome to this lesson. Is the third lesson from the first module, and here we're gonna talk about the mode value, what it actually is. It represents the same thing as we talked about median and mean. It just tells us about the whole data set with just one value. But speaking of the mode, it can work not only with numerical dataset but also with dataset with some string values, for example, with classification datasets. So what it actually is, the mode is just the most frequent thing from the dataset. So let's say we have something like that, and here we represent frequency, and mode would be the value which is the most frequent. So in this case, something like -2 or -1. Again, when we use mode with classification datasets, and here in the code implementation, I do exactly that. Because we stated our data as apple, orange, apple, apple, tomato, orange, and tomato. So this is a non-numerical array, and we can still apply mode to it. So what do? We use the function np.unique. What it actually does, it returns the array with values and an array with counts. Array with values is just our data without duplicates. So it would be apple, orange, and tomato. And counts, it's an array with the exact counts of each value. So for example, if we had apple, orange, and tomato array counts, array would be 3, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, and 2 for 3 number of apples, 3 number of oranges, and 3 number of 3 is the number of tomatoes, the frequency. What do we actually do? Is np.unique state our data is the first parameter, and then explicitly say return counts equals true. Well, how do we work next? Then we use string as the same purpose as we did before, just to look at more Pythonic. Then we say values, and from values take the item with the same index that has the highest number from our counts dataset, counts array. So in this case, it would be 3, apple, orange, tomato, and 3, 2, 2. The maximum argument from the count dataset would be 3, and its index would be 1. So we take values with index 1, so it would be apple. How do we implement it in Kaggle? We just, firstly we need to import our libraries. We're gonna import numpy as np, and then what we're gonna do, we're gonna learn our dataset from sklearn.datasets, import sklearn, import, for example, load. I just clicked tab. Let's just load digits. It's a great thing. We're gonna use that. What we're gonna do? Load equals load digits. And today we're not gonna work with, let's just say what we have. We have data, target, frame, feature names, target, images, and description. We don't need images, description, target names. What we actually need is the target, because it represents a data set. I'm going to just show you data set equals load target, and what that is. Actually, let's just use our np.unique function without the second parameter, without returning an array with counts, just our array without duplicates, and it has 0, 9, 2, 3, 4, 5, and up to 9 values, and it's pretty big, to be honest. 1797 values, it's big. So what do we usually do? We can just import statistics. Now we cannot use that with statistics, I'm sorry. We do the same thing as we did here. We say values counts equals np.unique our dataset, and return counts equals true. What then we say then? Yes, string. In Jupyter Notebook, we don't need to do like that. We don't need to text print. We can just use it. We can just write value, and we would get a variable, and we will get its value. So we're gonna just use string values np dot argmax like that. From counts, I'm sorry. So it's 3. So the most frequent value here is 3. Maybe you can think that it's not important at all, but in reality it actually is. And when we will be talking about baselines in classification, we are gonna use mode value. So that's it.